The learning component of the model includes crafting classroom activities according to the best principles of promoting learning. The principles of learning are active involvement, patterns and connections, informal learning, direct experience, reflection, compelling situation, frequent feedback, and enjoyable setting. More information on this can be found in the Technology as Facilitator of Quality Education model. The students in this 8th grade science class are studying the human digestive system. They work in teams to design experiments on different foods and products and how they affect digestion. The students demonstrate active involvement as they present their experiments to their classmates. They display creative thinking by making their own hypotheses and planning their own procedures to test them.
Okay, our question is, what pop is the healthiest, Cherry Coke, Wild Cherry Pepsi, or Cherry 7-Up?
Yeah, we wanted to do that question because we just wanted to see, a lot of people here drink pop, and we just wanted to see what pop's healthiest and best for you. So, yeah.
And then our materials are, we're going to have 3 beakers so that we can boil off the pop so that it, we can see how much syrup's left for like the syrup. And then we're going to have 2 cans of Cherry Coke, 2 cans of Wild Cherry Pepsi, 2 cans of Cherry 7-Up, cups, hot plates, blindfolds, markers, and Benedicts. We're going to do the Benedict's test, and we're going to do a survey so that, and we're going to ask people what they think is the healthiest and why, and which one people think tastes best.
The students receive frequent feedback when they present their plans to the rest of the class. They receive both peer feedback and teacher feedback with suggestions on how to improve their experiments.
Okay, how about feedback? Now, when you do a Benedict's test, you're going to do the Benedict's test with Coke, Cherry Coke, Wild Cherry, Pepsi, and Cherry 7-Up. So they're all color drinks. Okay, how will the Benedict's test show up? Do you think it'll show up very well?
No, not the color. They use caramel for color, and we probably think that that's going to show too for the Benedict's test.
Yeah, so what do you think we might want to do instead?
You might want to use clearer pops, so then the caramel won't affect the Benedict's test at all. So like the pop with no color or orange.
Okay, all right, does that sound like a good idea? All right, so then we should be able to have a clearer sense of what the Benedict's test would be, okay? All right, any other suggestions you can give? I would suggest in the data table you also have then the percent sugar. Yeah. Okay, and you mentioned salt.
Yeah, so we have that one.
Okay, so you're going to want to then see who, rate as far as the amount of salt, okay?
The students display active involvement as they conduct their experiments. Their engagement in the activity shows participatory behavior.
It says Wendy's has the most.
But that's a McDonald's large, French fries, and that's a Wendy's Great Biggie.
But wouldn't it? I think McDonald's large and Great Biggie are the same size.
Yeah, they're almost the same. That's like the size.
Okay.
But wouldn't it be the same though? For if you measured them all the same weight?
Yeah, we just measured them all the same weight.
Since they're closely the same.
So you started with the same weight?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it that way. So we'll see. That may be different.
And those are closely the same weight.
Okay. All right. Well, they look like the potatoes have sunk, and we'll be able to get the fat to come to the top, right?
The teacher continues to give students frequent feedback as they conduct their experiments. She provides teacher feedback in the form of questions and comments that focus the students' attention on the details of their experiments and stimulate them to reflect on their procedures.
Ergo, maybe our problem. What was in there?
I don't know.
Acid. So, that's why you had the reaction of one of them turning cloudy, right? Okay, so.
Yeah, we washed it out.
I know, but they're in the cap, there may have been crystals, and so you've gotten that. Okay, so maybe what you're gonna, a little more, you just went out and checked? Okay, so now what do we learn from this experience? that, just like let me know, right? That's okay. We've learned something from this, that we want to be sure that the equipment you use is what was here, and if that's not working, you want to alert somebody, okay?
The students also gain direct experience with factors affecting digestion by observing them directly. The students experience an environment that encourages learning in context. They get the opportunity to practice science skills and acquire knowledge by directly observing the processes they are studying.
All right, now wait, which one's which here?
Okay, this is Tums, Alka-Seltzer.
Rolaids. So Rolaids down here. Move Rolaids down here. We're gonna put each by each. Tums is over there. Alka-Seltzer here.
Alka-Seltzer in the middle.
Okay, let me
Put Tums over there. So.
Okay. So you're gonna do one serving?
Yeah, one serving. If it says like 2 to 4, do the medium, which is 3.
Right.
All right.
If in a case of heartburn, it might hurt you in a way because when you put the water into your stomach, it makes it so that there's more liquid in your stomach, but it's gonna come up. I know, but still,
that means
it takes a while to dilute it. But still, when it goes in, it could increase to heartburn because you have more liquid in your stomach. Which
I don't think it would
cause
really.
reflux.
I don't think it increased. In 1 minute, it jumped so high. I think they
But
cancel each other out.
I
It's
know.
more liquid, but it's more
Yeah.
diluted. So,
You have to remember it's also double the solution in the stomach. So,
and it's not double though. And anyway, it's not.
it's 100 milliliters in the stomach of hydrochloric acid. We have about 40, so even a little more than double.
Well, I think it cancels it.
I know. I think
it.
it probably does cancel itself out. But I'm just pointing something out that.
We'll have to consider that when we make our presentation.
Yeah.
This learning activity presents the students with a compelling situation. The students chose topics for their experiments that relate to their daily lives. One group, for example, analyzed the fat content of French fries from 3 popular fast food restaurants. The students are learning science by connecting it to the real world. Their results have real consequences for their health and nutrition and are applicable in their daily lives.
For our experiment, we did which kind of French fries had the most fat, and we did it just because like a lot of people eat fast food and like a lot of people like French fries, so we just did which one would be the most healthiest for people.
The students recognize patterns and connections as they interpret and present their results. They use critical thinking to establish relationships among variables based on the evidence they've collected.
Well, what we found out so far is actually what we expected not to happen, because sirloin we found had the most fat, but chuck we found had the least fat. But we believe that's because not all the water has been extracted from the patties yet, so that could throw off the weight measurements or the mass measurements before and after. So we're going to try to draw in some more, and then hopefully have some more accurate results. We tested pH or antacids and their effect on the pH of the stomach. So we used hydrochloric acid because that's what's in the stomach, so it represented the pH of the stomach. And then we put the antacid in, and we tested once per minute for 20 minutes, so we could see what how the antacid affected the acid over time.
It's actually probably easier when we were looking at the raw data. It's not quite as easy to see in the graph. But what happened was Alka-Seltzer jumped in the first minute, the highest, and the others didn't go. The others didn't go up to quite as far. But they all started out pretty high in the first for the first minute. And then eventually, what happened was Rolaids jumped the least in the first minute, but eventually it climbed, and it wound up getting the highest, just a little bit above the other two.